We'll be experiencing some turbulence. Shouldn't last more than 15 or 20 minutes.
Holy cow, this is a windy trip. Man, there's so much turbulence. Wow. Bob, we need the landing gear out. Bob, we need the landing gear out.
What?
Hey guys, I'm Mike.
I'm Bob.
And this is the Board Game Rundown, and today we are reviewing the first expansion for SkyTeam. It is Turbulence. Turbulence came out at the end of 2024. Bob and I had a chance to play every module that this offers, so we're going to tell you everything this adds to base game SkyTeam, and then we'll give you our score. So a quick overview of how SkyTeam works. I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably know, but players are playing the pilot and co-pilot, and they have to successfully land the plane at the end of 6 rounds or after they have descended 6,000 feet. That means you got to get your brakes out, apply the brakes, get the landing gear out, get the flaps out, and of course make sure that the plane is flat. So what does Turbulence add to this game? So first of all, there are several new approaches here. There's an A and a B side for your easier airports, and then there's a black and a red side for your more difficult airports, and they all have different things that will change up each round of the game. So first and foremost, you'll see these 3 squiggly lines. That is Turbulence. So with Turbulence, what that means is once you place a die, your other available dice, you re-roll them. So you always are re-rolling your dice. There
Can't plan.
is no planning ahead.
Yeah.
You play the best die you have now and then hope for the best with the other ones that you re-roll. Now you'll see later we've got up here limited visibility. With limited visibility, you only have 2 dice visible. So you roll 2 dice. When you place one, you get to roll one of your available ones and add it to your pool, so you always have 2 available. Now, this only applies to spots in the elevation where it shows those icons on there. Additionally, what we've got here is we've got alarms. Alarms are interesting because this is parts of the ship that are breaking as you're coming to a land. So when you come across one of these approaches here that has an alarms, you flip one of these over randomly, and now this part of the ship is broken. So this one in particular means that we cannot
Deploy flaps.
So the pilot, the person with the blue die, at some point has to place a 4 on this to repair that part of the ship so that the co-pilot can now deploy flaps again. And that's what you'll see with all of these alarms come out. You can't get coffee anymore, which is one of your mitigation tools in this game. You can't use comms, so you are unable to clear planes out of the way. That one's huge because you have to use a 6 to discard that one and fix your communications to clear out ships. So all of these basically just have different parts of the ship, and it changes who is able to place the die in to fix that particular part of the plane. The other thing that they've changed in this version, you'll see I've got the ice breaks out. That's not new. That was in the base game, but there are several scenarios that reference the ice breaks that you'll use. This particular scenario that I've picked in Warsaw, you'll notice I have the wind gauge backwards or upside down because you are actually flying into the wind instead of with the wind. So that is an interesting wrinkle where turning your axis is going to allow you to turn into or away from the wind, and so that will affect your speed at the end of the game. Or at the end of each round when you apply your engine dice. Now, also, you'll notice I have these interns over the engine dice and over the pilot side here, the landing gear. The reason that's all out is because in this particular scenario, you'll notice there are some of these scenarios that have the book icon on it. So they have special rules that are inside of the rule book that only apply to that scenario. In this version, we're playing Warsaw. the landing gear is broke. So we're actually just coasting to a landing. So we're not even applying any gas at all. We are just coasting the plane to its final destination.
Yeah,
Terrible little movie
interesting
pun.
choice of words there, Mike.
Absolutely. So you don't even use the you're not even applying landing gear at all. You're just coasting.
Right.
There's a few other ones in here that you'll see. Like this scenario only uses 3 of the alarms. Some of them use 5 or 6, which is insane. They also reference which one of the approach tracks you're going to be using as you play. But the last one that I'll mention here is really no difference at all. I was actually like really excited to use these penguins, but all they are is in place of planes.
Yeah.
So there's
Because you're landing in Antarctica.
You're landing in Antarctica.
So there's penguins in the way.
So don't hit the penguins. But they serve the same purpose as planes.
Yeah.
I believe that is really everything that is new. Bob, am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so. And like Mike was saying, like some of the different locations are going to have these scenarios in the book. Like this one in Warsaw, like you move down like each time. Like since you're not doing your engine and calculating your speed to tell you how many steps to move, you're just coasting in. So each time you're just moving down.
Yep.
And so you just have to deal with things as they come. And then since the pilot over here, his blue spots are all marked off with those interns upside down, that's why they've got these other blue things to do by fixing those alarms. But I like that idea of the co-pilots over there trying to get the flap. They won't go. The pilot's like, I got you. Boop, push a little button. They're like, okay, now I can deploy my flaps down a little bit.
Yep.
I think that's super neat. Yeah, it's just really. We can't apply the brakes as well with the engine, like reverse thrusters. So you have to make sure you use the ice brakes. They're just using that same board, so you have to make sure you're pushing the brakes all the way down. But it's just really interesting. If you like Sky Team, like this game just gives you more of what you like. And then the differences, like the turbulence, having to re-roll and being unable to plan each time is so tricky. The limited visibility, so you're only getting to look at 2 dice each time. It adds some really interesting bits to the game. And I've played this game over 60 times and
Played it a ton.
yeah, it's fantastic. And like I said, with these expansions, just more. I don't say more of the same. It's more but different.
Yeah,
It adds some nice tweaks to it to give you some variance to what you're playing and what you're doing.
And this rule book was really straightforward, and just like the base game rule book, the flight log, I believe it is, it explains all the different scenarios and the different difficulties, and it has the icons for each module that you add, just like in the base game. So very straightforward to get through. And some of these are really challenging. The one thing I did forget is that on this here, if you don't have the engine, you only use 3 of your dice. So you don't use all 4.
Right. Yeah. So even more limited.
The last one you'll run into is that there is one that has a speaker with an X on it, and that is no communication
At all.
This game,
It's
you're
already
only
limited.
allowed to talk between rounds. Now you can't communicate whatsoever during those rounds or between those rounds.
Yep.
So that is everything that this adds to Sky Team. Bob, what were your overall thoughts?
Like I was saying earlier, like I really enjoyed the variants that it does, the different alarms that are going off that you're dealing with, the different reasons to use the ice brakes mechanisms. That's one of the most difficult modules in the game because it's not just one person applying the brakes. I mean, yes, one person can do both of them, but getting help and making sure that's lined up. Like, do I have a 2? Do you have a 2? That work together, a special ability really comes in handy. That way, if somebody has like rolled doubles, they can, because normally it's just one person, the pilot doing the brake checks there, but. That I like that. That was really disappointing in the penguins, though. Like I said, they could have been wooden, right? That would have been nice because like the planes, everything else are nice bits, and the penguins are very like yeah, almost like an afterthought.
They could have had some kind of rule.
Yeah, something a little bit better.
Maybe something that tweaks communication to be able to, a change to the communication mechanic to be able to remove them. But to your point, ice brakes are really tough.
Yeah, it's one of the most difficult expansions. There's an Azores one here, so that was pretty cool to get to do that because I flew into the Azores a couple years ago, so mark your bingo card for that. But no, just more of what I love about this game. The real time types of scenarios that you can do.
Oh,
Then you're trying to place your dice really fast. You're trying to give stern looks because you can't really talk about things. It's more of what I love about this game, and now there's just more to it. So
That's exactly it. If you already like Sky Team, which we do, this has become one of my all-time favorite games. It is my favorite co-op game. It's my favorite two-player game. So this is just more of what you enjoy. If you wanted more variability, which I thought there was already a lot of
Still quite a bit,
modularity and
yeah.
variability in the base box, but for a very inexpensive expansion that fits inside of the base box,
Yep.
it adds a ton more replayability. There were 20 new airports to play here with multiple new modules. There's
the different approaches, I like that because all those other modules that they had, you always just use like the one or the other side of the approach track. Now there's 4 new approach tracks that vary it up between the turbulence, the limited visibility, and the what was the other one? There was one more, right? Or was that the only other 2 that it added on those? I thought there was one more thing. Oh, it's in the other track. The something like this one gets you both turbulence and limited visibility. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's some of them where you start at 5,000 feet instead of 6,000 feet, so you got to
Right.
do everything in
Quicker.
one round less.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything that if you like Sky Team, this is a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Just go buy it,
Yep.
put it in the box. You will not be disappointed. This is an excellent expansion and more of what you already enjoy.
Yep.
So there you go. That's our thoughts. Let's go ahead and score this baby. Bob, how do we score games on the rundown?
It's a great question, Mike. Here on the board game rundown, we're going to give the expansion itself, because it says expansion review here. We're going to give it a score between 0 and 10 using 0.5s for a little bit of variance. We're going to take our scores, average them together, and that'll be the score that you see on like BGG and whatnot.
So what is Bob's score for Turbulence?
This is a no-brainer expansion. It's a 9. If you have Sky Team, if you like Sky Team, go buy this expansion. It's going to fit in the box. It's going to give you a lot more options, a lot more things that you can do. It's a no-brainer. You should get it.
I'll give it a 9.5. I mean, it's excellent. I already love this game. I wish they could have done more with the Penguins.
That was my biggest beef with it.
But otherwise, everything that they added is interesting, and it's a unique wrinkle to an already amazing system.
Yeah.
So
Our average makes that a 9.3.
it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Again, if you like Sky Team, don't even think about it.
Yep.
Just
if you were lukewarm on Sky Team and thought it could do more, still go out and get it because this will add that more you were looking for. So.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think the base box has a lot of variability, but
Me
now
too.
there's just even more.
Yep.
There are so many modules available for this now. I do like how they took an existing module and just turned it around to make it feel a whole lot different by going into gusts of wind instead of flying with the wind. So, great stuff. Once again, Scorpion Masque just knocked it out of the park, and they keep doing it. If you're not paying attention to Scorpion Masque games, you should. They keep putting out great stuff, and this is no exception. Bob, anything else?
Nope, I think that's it for me.
All right, so if you've made it this far, make sure you give us a thumb. We appreciate it. We're getting really close to 7,000 subs. We'll probably pass it by the time you watch this.
Hopefully.
Every new sub helps, though. And that is it for the Board Game Rundown. I've been Mike.
Bob.
See you next time.